All right, Shalom. Like I say, all praises due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Makakadash. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to all you brothers teaching in truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the globe, underneath the standard and the banner of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. All right, what you see on the screen is a little bit more tidbit of information. All right, on Babylon the Great, so to speak. Okay, we know that they being the marionette to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, all right, which is the puppet. Okay, the so-called white man. That's what role he plays. Okay, and Yahweh, the supreme seer of all and the knower of all, is directing them in their steps, just like the scriptures say, man goings of the Lord. All right, and it also says in Daniel that he sets up kings and kingdoms. Okay, so with that being said, this is an article in the FP. Okay, and it says America pandemic war games didn't end well. One simulation of uncontrolled disease outbreak concluded with riots and the National Guard on the streets. And this was put out April 1st, 2020. All right. And it goes on to say, on June 22nd, 2001, a group of well-known U.S. officials and a handful of seniors policymakers gathered at Andrews Air Force Base in Maryland for a senior level exercise that simulated a biological weapons attack, an outbreak of deadly smallpox on the United States, designed by the Johns Hopkins Center for Civilian Biodefense Strategies, now called the Center for Health Security, and the Washington-based Center for Strategic and International Studies, CSIS. Okay, that's the acronym for it. The day-and-a-half-long dark winter simulation was conducted to gauge how senior leaders would respond to such an attack and include such high-level participants as Senator Sam Nunn, who played President, former White House advisor David Gergen, the National Security Advisor, and the retired career diplomat Frank Wisner, the Secretary of State. But Dark Winter has since become legendary in senior policy-making circles in Washington for a different reason. It has regularly been cited by its designers and participants as the clearest exhibit of the spiraling stresses and potential social collapse that could be sparked by a public health crisis. And what are we doing? We're sitting in it right now, man. Okay. They're controlling the masses to be in chaos. That's what's happening right in front of your eyes, man. And no matter how much the man of GMS brings out these details and tidbits, man, you still got people that's unsuspected. Isaiah 60 in the second verse, man. Okay. Gross darkness covered the people. Okay. They won't hear there is a fat man. All right. And it's going to come down to the wire, man. And this is how you know that the word of the Heavenly Father is true, man, because what you're starting to see, okay, it's jumping right off the pages, man, of the prophecy that Yahweh Shai left behind for us to foretell before the day of his coming, the great and dreadful day of the Lord, man. Okay. It says Dark Winter, which stipulates a smallpox attack by an unknown assailant, is not COVID-19, a disease inadvertently spread by human contact. Okay. So what they did was they did a simulation on smallpox, but now that this certificate of vaccination ID 19 has arrived, okay, Now they're using that in its place. All right. Of course, but the fallout from the coronavirus pandemic bears an eerie resemblance to the simulation. Leaders hampered by an inability to address a crisis they hadn't foreseen. We have been much more comfortable with a terrorist bombing, Nunn later said in a congressional testimony. National decision making driven by data experts from the medical and public health sectors, management options limited by the swift and unpredictable spread of the disease, and a limited stockpile of vaccines, a healthcare system that lacks the surge capacity to deal with mass casualties, increased tensions between state and federal authorities. That's what we see, okay? Because you got some of these states want to open back up, man, because they don't see the severity of the hoax disease. Okay, hospital beds are empty. All right, it's not a call to shut down a place that hasn't really been touched by said disease. And truth be told, man, it's starting to come out now in the hospitals by the nurses, certain doctors are starting to squill on the medical field. Okay, they're starting to tell that things are not right inside these medical buildings, man. They're saying that people are getting experimented on, people are getting euthanized, okay, underneath the guise of COVID-19, okay. So everything's coming out, man. Everything's coming to the head, so to speak, man. And this is why the Lord is on his way back to destroy this place, because this devil has got to a point that he can't pass, just like it says in Job, okay? Let me get that scripture real quick. But you get the gist of it, man, you know. And I'll put this article in the description box so brothers can read it. But yeah, man, that's what it's going to lead to. Like the heading says, it's going to lead to riots and the National Guards on the street, and that's where the elites want it, man. They want it at that point. All right. So let me get this real quick. This is Job 14:5. Okay. Well, I'll start at 4. Okay, Job 14:4. Who can bring a clean thing out of an unclean thing? Not one. Okay. So when you see the so-called white man spewing these lies, just know that he's a filthy and unliberal person, man. Okay. Know that he wants to be the villain and the hero all at the same time. That's why he does these simulations, okay? Because he wants to be the one that swoops in like Superman and, oh, look what I did. I found the cure. Or I put out your fire. You know, he sets the fire and then he puts it out. It doesn't make any sense, man. And this is going to be a big blowback for him, okay? Yeah, it's going to be a lot of casualties and death all around, but the so-called white man wants it that way. So what? So he can do mass chipping, all right? Bring down the population, okay? And it's on its way, man. Just like that simulation ended in mass riots and the National Guard shooting down people in the streets, okay? That's what's about to happen over here. And then, if you can remember, far back is I can't remember what year that was, but Jade Helm 15 was going on, maybe 2015. I want to say that, but there was also in that exercise they was asking a lot of higher up military officials would they fire on their own citizens if need be, okay? And a lot of those men retired, man. Okay, Why? Because this was the end game. So you're not only going to have the National Guard here, but you're going to have other nations sending their troops over here too to quell the riots that's going to go on here in America. And these riots are going to be the worst, man, because these people have never been told nothing, that they couldn't do anything. Okay. And then you got all these militia groups here in the north, here in the south, okay, with buku guns and ammo, man. It's gonna be, hey, if you Jake, you don't want to be seen in that day, okay, because it's gonna be a nigga hunt going on too, man, okay. But that's why the scriptures were written, man, so that you could be wise in these up and coming days, man, okay, because when you read down to verse 5, it says, seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. Okay, so all this shutting down governments and, quarantining areas and economies crashing, okay, things are happening, okay, that you can't see are happening. But this is something that he can't come back from. All right, it's going to be too much debt. All right, it's going to be too much life loss. It's going to be too much calamity going on. Okay, and with that, he's going to be at his worst point, which is this point right here. When you go to Revelations 12 and 12, all right, and it's coming, man. The people, this video is for those new people just coming into the truth that thinks that, let's pray to the Lord, he'll make a better day for us. Yeah, the better day is coming in the kingdom, man. Because the time that we're going through right now, I'm going to get that too, all right? But this is what this man's plan is. It says, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. All right. And that's why he draws out them simulations, man, because he wants to know if he can pull off the big comeback, so to speak. All right. But his simulations don't mean squat, because it's going to be a monkey wrench thrown inside the gears, so to speak. And that wrench that's going to be thrown inside the gears is Yahweh Shai, okay? And those troops that he's bringing with him, okay? Them chariots, okay? That's what they don't foresee, all right? And for all the people that think that praying to the Lord, now the Lord knew that y'all was going to do this, but he's not going to answer, because this is where he wants it to go. Okay, he wants this kingdom to be out of here. He wants this place to crumble and fall, and that's what we're about to see. All right. Contrary to popular belief. All right. It tells you in Ecclesiastes that the window shall be darkened, man. Okay. After the grinding ceased, all windows shall be darkened. There is no future for Babylon the Great. All right. This is it for this kingdom. All right. Let's get this real quick. One second. Let's go to Mark 13 and 8. That's not the one I wanted to see. That's in the same problem. Yeah, just go back to 12 and 12. Salaki brothers. Revelations 12 at the top of the chapter. All right, Salaki. And it said, and there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. And she began, that's the nation of Israel, okay? And she began with child, being with child, cried, travailing in birth, and pained to be delivered. And there appeared another wonder in heaven. Behold, great red dragon having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns upon his head, which is NATO and the EU and the so-called, what's that, the beast, okay? That is the beast, okay? And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven, okay? And did cast them to the earth, and which is the so-called white man, all right? And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered to devour her child as soon as it was born, okay? I'm trying to say that they was gonna beat Yahushua, all right? They was gonna beat him at his own game. When you read 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter, okay? And she brought forth a man child who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron, and her child was caught up onto God and to his throne, all right? And that's Yahushua, all right? This is the end scenario, man. Okay, no matter how many simulations the so-called white man tries to play out, it's never going to be to his liking, man, because the scriptures got him at the end of his kingdom, all right, going into slavery and for 1,000 years, and then after that he's going to be eradicated off the face of the earth, okay? And the woman fled into the wilderness, where she had the place prepared of God, that they should feed her there 1,203 days, which is what we did during the diaspora. Okay, we ran into Africa. We started there. And there was a war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels. All right, that's 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter. All right, around the, let's see, around what verse that is. Oh, shit. I'm all over the place. Salaki. Let's see. You start at six verse. All right. I'm not gonna go into it, but that's what they perceive to battle against. All right. With the chariots of the Most High. Going back into the subject though of them making these simulations that don't go anywhere. Okay. Because when you look at it all, the end result is going to be the downfall of this kingdom, no matter what. All right. And, it's a program. That's what they're doing. They're programming, deprogramming the people's minds so they can reprogram them to act or to be in accordance with this new world order that's coming. Okay. Microchipping, you know, uh, standing in line to receive rations. It's just going to be like that movie 1984. The other movie, Solid Green. Okay. All these movies come into mind. What is the Hunger Games? All right. These movies are pertinent movies to where they're trying to get the whole world in a league with. Okay. This is how they want the new world order to play out. Okay. But it's not going that way. Okay. Because we know that this place is going to be annihilated. In this place, I mean Babylon the Great, is going to be annihilated. And then the King of all kings are going to come. Okay, he's going to rule over the whole earth in righteousness, along with the saints. Okay, which are the Israelites, Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans. So with that, Esau, the plans of world dominance through his little games that he sets up. Okay, his America Pandemic War Games. All right, don't end well. They don't end well. Okay, they're going to end with Esau catching a bad one. All right, after all said and done. So with that, I want to say all praises due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakah Kadash, and double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom.